In 2077, what makes someone a criminal? Getting caught.
So the big news this week is obviously about Cyberpunk 2077. And I can't help but say something about this because I think it's actually quite significant. Full disclosure, I haven't played the game. I'm not really a first-person perspective type of person, but even the hype on this one made me think, oh, do I get it? Do I get it? And I saw reviews as it came out, like on the day, and it kind of, one of the ones I saw was, this does not play on base consoles, PS4 and Xbox One, so I thought there's absolutely no point. I have a base PlayStation 4 and it's probably from, you know, the year it was released, and half the time it sounds like it's going to blast off and take off anyway, so I just didn't think there was a point, so I didn't. So as far as me looking at the game, all I can go off is what I've seen in the news, so I can't look at the story, I can't look at anything else. I don't think that's fair for me to do that. Anybody who's been living under a gaming rock the past week, Cyberpunk 2077 released on the 10th, and it's a bit buggy, apparently. It runs quite well on high-end spec PCs. It has issues on next-gen consoles, but it does mostly work. And apparently it's just completely unplayable on base PS4s and Xbox Ones. It's just broken. It crashes and the textures don't load and there's loads of bugs. The problems are so bad that the people who made the game, CD Projekt Red, had to apologise within 4 days to people who were unhappy and sort of go, you know, we want to give you the best experience. If you don't want to stick with us, request a refund, which is pretty bad on digital copies because the PlayStation Store, they do not really give out refunds, and it's quite hard on Microsoft, but not impossible. So for them to say, you know, ask for a refund, that kind of threw in a few problems. This escalated to the problem that the Sony Entertainment Store completely removed the game from the store, and that was on Thursday. Not 100% sure on that, and they are giving refunds. Microsoft haven't removed it from their store, but they've now put a disclaimer on the page saying this may not work very well on your console, kind of, you know, buy it at your own risk. So the situation is a little bit of a mess. It's quite bad that Sony took the game down altogether. It's really unprecedented for that to happen. I don't think it's been known to happen before, and I suppose that's what I want to focus on. It's not unknown for AAA games to release with bugs. You don't have to look very far. You know, just look at Assassin's Creed Unity for an example of a game that became a meme because the bugs were so bad. So what is so bad this time around? And I can't help but think it's a lot to do with the marketing. This game has been massively hyped up. You know, like I said, to the point where I've thought, I might get this, and this isn't really a game I would normally want. So this game has been sold on the hype of it being an absolute marvel. They've sold pre-orders on that idea, and that idea included, you know, the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One, and they couldn't just drop the releases on those consoles because it was broken, because that would look really bad, and they probably would have lost a whole lot of their pre-orders. So they couldn't just go ahead with the next gen. So they've essentially sold the game on a lie, because the stuff that's coming out, it's quite obvious they knew for a little while that it was quite broken. And, you know, at this point not many people will have next generation consoles. For starters, you can't get your hands on them. I'm one of those people, I just can't afford to buy a next gen console yet. I have to wait for the price to come down. So I would have been incredibly disappointed if I pre-ordered this game for my PlayStation 4 and then it just didn't work. I mean, that would have been an absolute gutter, and I probably would have wanted a refund on that. And maybe that's what makes this whole instance so much worse, the fact that CD Projekt Red kept saying, oh, we're not going to release if it's broken, and they kept pushing the date back, and then ultimately they have released it and it's incredibly broken. and it's probably dealt a massive blow financially and to their reputation going forward. You have to feel sorry for the devs who have put in, you know, 8 years worth of work, hundreds and hundreds of hours probably worth of crunch, and they're going to have to probably do hundreds of hours more to get the game into a working state. And it's all because management and investors have made the decision to, you know, push the game when it wasn't working. And, you know, you feel bad for them on that case, because they'll put a lot of work in. So what now? The game will be patched, but I think the damage is done reputation wise, and people might not go back. I mean, that might be it. They might have lost customers and gamers indefinitely after that one. My hope from all of this is that this is a cautionary tale to AAA game developers, that customers just will not take buggy games on release anymore. In my last video I made a joke about how Assassin's Creed Valhalla was buggy, and I kind of went, oh, but it's a Ubisoft game, that was expected. And that is not right. It's not right that you just expect for those bugs to be there and for the game to maybe occasionally break. And I just hope that this isn't like a warning going forward that consumers won't take this anymore. They just won't buy the games on release. They'll ask for refunds. Nothing talks quite like money, and that I think developers need to take that going forward. Yeah, you know, surely that's got to be a warning that if it happens to one company, it could happen to many more in the future if they don't hit a high enough standard. And you know, that's a financial incentive not to release a buggy game. I mean, you'd think anyway. I hope the game is fixed successfully, because I would quite like to try it. I think the concept behind it all is interesting. There are still lots and lots of trailers popping up for this game, and I've lost count of the amount of times Keanu Reeves has popped up and said, what makes you a criminal in Night City? And it's sort of like, well, apparently the answer is selling broken games on lies, and that's what makes you a criminal in this day and age. Thank you for watching my ramble. It's been an interesting experience for me, probably more of an interesting experience for you. If you want to watch more of my videos, subscribe to the channel, give me a like, share, drop me a comment if you want to just tell me to shut up, because, you know, what do I know? And I'll see you in the next video.